go.
I'm still stood here in Cordoba with Dr. Roy Jackson, my colleague, and Roy, we talked already about why we bring students here, but you're here on an Erasmus research trip.
Yes.
So what's all that about?
Right, well, I can give you a more sort of general reason, a more specific reason. That's okay.
Fine, yeah.
I mean, more generally, I would say that it's always helpful and useful to tread in the footsteps of those kind of thinkers that you admire or respect or study. As an example, many years ago, I studied Nietzsche. I find it did help me a lot to actually go the tracks that I used to walk
Walking the Alps.
Yes, I spent far too long in German forest. But again, I think the point comes across there that Nietzsche, for example, was a very German philosopher. And I think the particular time and place that he existed,
you couldn't really get it without something of... Yeah.
And the same applies, I think, here. I mean, I have studied Andalusian philosophers, like Ibn Arabi, Averroes, of course, Ibn Tufayl. They're all from Andalusia. So to come here and to see where the kind of environment that they come from helps me understand them, because they are very much, they're Muslim philosophers, but they're very much Andalusian philosophers. And I think that is important. So that's kind of generally the case.
Yeah, so that's about the cultural situation and embedding yourself in that kind of understanding. So, and more specific?
More specifically, there is an Islamic concept called Insan al-Kamil.
Insan al-Kamil.
Yes, which translates as the perfect man or the perfect person.
Okay.
And it's basically the idea, it's developed particularly by Ibn Arabi from Andalusia, the idea that we can strive towards perfection. Now the question is, there's many different ways of doing it. But very importantly is the environment that you live within. So by coming here, it's a chance, it's an opportunity to see to what extent these thinkers utilise the environment or transform the environment in order to reach the state of perfection.
So to what extent the idea that they construct of the perfect life, the perfect man, reflects things that kind of living in this area can offer them?
That's
what can imply might be part of that?
It's essentially, it's a terrible research project to do because I have to look for heaven on earth.
Yeah,
it's like
true, but I think actually coming to Andalusia, lots of our students who are currently here are walking around saying, this is heaven on earth.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's the aim. I mean, places like, if you go to Granada, for example, Alhambra, the idea behind that is to create a mirror image of heaven, a kind of a pattern of heaven on earth itself.
So everything about it, the architecture, the planting of the plants, the horticulture, is meant to take you higher and higher progressively. It's part of the spiritualisation of the world.
Absolutely. It's not random at all. It all has
everything's for a reason.
It's all a metaphor for something.
Yeah.
So this is a real opportunity to see how that works. And it is a way of connecting with, if you like, the spiritual side. Maybe an example would be if you know Sartre's Nausea. And there's the famous scene where Will Kenton is on the chestnut tree.
Yeah,
and
the roots. Yeah.
That's right, the roots of the tree. And it's the idea that he's so alienated from his environment in that sort of sense. It's kind of existential act. And you compare that to the first emir of Cordoba, of Andalusia, who wrote an ode to the palm tree.
Yeah.
And he imported the seeds of the palm tree to Cordoba and created essentially the first garden. But the ode to the palm tree is where the palm tree connects him with his spiritual home, which is Damascus, because he brought it from Damascus. So you have this kind of contrasting.
So it's not like nature as oppressive and frightening and alien, but like an urban 20th century existentialist thing. It's more nature as a means to engage with something much more heavenly.
Communicate, exactly. That's the intention.
Oh, fantastic. Well, hopefully after you found heaven on earth here, you will return to Cheltenham.
No,
we'll see that. So I'll never see you again. Fine. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.